Hello guys, how are you today? So today I'll be explaining the Math AMS quiz of Term 2, Week 6, okay? And we have some questions in the quiz, okay? These are from the PISA exam. So I'm gonna explain them and just the quiz in general. So let's start. To combat global carbon emissions, engineers are seeking innovative solutions to incorporate renewable energy into whatever. So they're just telling us about a machine, or not a machine, they're just finding solutions to stop using fossil fuels and to make energy without using fossil fuels. Now, one advantage of a tethered balloon is that it flies at a height of 200 meters. There, the wind speed is approximately 30% higher than at the ground level. So if you have a boat down, okay, this is your boat over here, and you placed a balloon, let us say you placed a balloon, we're gonna put it like this. I will explain later why we put it like this. And it is at a height of 200 meters from sea level. And we know that the wind speed up is 30% more than the wind speed at the bottom. Okay? So they want us to calculate what? They want us to calculate the speed at 200 meters above the ground. Now, if at the ground it is 20 kilometers per hour, and we know that 200 meters above the ground it's 30% more, then we are going to apply this equation. The new is going to be equal to the old times 1 plus the percentage. Or in other terms, what we are going to do is we are going to take our original speed, which is 20 kilometers per hour, and because it's approximately 30% higher means we are going to add, so 30% plus, okay? But we are not going to add 30%, instead we are going to add 20 times 30%. Alright, so from this we get the equation nu is equal to all times 1 plus the percentage. So here, if you were to take out 20 as common, you are going to get 20 times 1 plus 30 over 100. And like that, we are going to get the new speed. So if we apply it on the calculator, it's going to be 20 times 1 plus 30 over 100. And we are going to get an answer of 26 kilometers per hour. So our answer over here is 26 kilometers per hour. Now, if the tether is pulling the turbine at an angle of 40 degrees and the vertical height of the turbine is 200 meters, as shown in the diagram, approximately how long is the tether? Now, why exactly do they put it at 40 degrees? So this is our ship. The tether is like this. Okay, this is just an example from me. It doesn't necessarily have to be a ship or a turbine, but this is the whole concept. So this is the balloon or tether. Okay? And it's put at a certain angle. Why is it put at a certain angle? So that the wind can fly like this and that the balloon will be filled with the air and it will continue moving like this. However, if you were to put the balloon upright, okay, the wind would fill it how? It would fill it like this. So at some point, the balloon is gonna tilt with the edge going up and the balloon being located like this. And in severe cases, it might topple and the ship will flip over. So that's why they need to put it at a specific angle. Like here in this case, we are given that it's 40 degrees from the ground level. And we have what? We have the side opposite to it. And we need to find the hypotenuse. So very simply, by applying the SOHCAHTOA rule, okay, we know that sine of an angle is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. We have opposite and we need to find the hypotenuse and we have the angle. So very simply, sine 40 is equal to 200 over the tether length, or t. So then, if we make t the subject of the equation, it's going to be t is equal to 200 divided by sine 40. And if you do it on your calculator, you are going to get an answer of approximately 311 meters. Okay, we'll move on to question number 2. We have done this question many times before. Alright, so I'm going to explain it again. The above function D models the distance in meters Jerry has to swim to reach the end line in a competition after swimming for 30 seconds. About how many meters can Jerry swim each second? So we can apply this in two ways. Either the first way, you will say that this is the starting point, which is 0, and this is the ending point, which is 50. And based on the function, we can say that Jerry is located at the end point. Okay, so Jerry has to swim from the end point backwards. So if you are to substitute 1 in the equation, you're going to get minus 0.08 times 1 plus 50, which is equal to 49.92. Okay, but did Jerry swim in 1 second 49.92 meters? Definitely not. He just moved to this position over here. So in reality, he actually moved 50 minus 49.92 meters, which is 0.08. You could apply it like this, or you could very simply find the derivative. Okay, finding the derivative, for example, if you have x to the power of 3, it is 1x to the power of 3. What is going to happen is that we are going to take the number in the exponent and we're going to multiply it here, so it becomes 1 times 3 to the power of x, and then 3, which is the number in the exponent, we are going to subtract 1 from it, so it becomes 3x to the power of 2. Another example, if we took 5x to the power of 6, it's going to be 5 times 6, which is 30x, and then 6 minus 1, which is 5, so 30x to the power of 5. So finding the derivative of this one, it is going to be minus 0.08 times 1, okay, t to the power of 1 minus 1, which is 0, plus 50. If you take the derivative of 50, which is a whole number, it's going to become 0. So anything to the power of 0 is 1, okay, and then anything plus 0 is the number itself, so we are going to get minus 0.08. But can someone swim negative meters? Theoretically, in this case, they said it's negative meters because he's moving backward. But there's no such thing as negative meters, so we put it in absolute value to get an answer of 0.08. We move on to question number 3. Alan lives in a town at an altitude of 50 feet above sea level. He drives from his home uphill a mountainous road to visit a friend. For each 3-mile drive uphill, the altitude increases by 50 feet. Build a function h that models Alan's altitude in feet relative to sea level after driving x miles from home. So we know this over here, we're going to say it is sea level. Then we have a mountain, and let's say it is 500 feet above sea level. Now in this mountain, this is where Alan lives. So this is his house, and this is Alan over here. Now Alan, he is going to go what? He's going to go up a mountain to go visit his friend over here. They did not tell us how far up his friend is, but instead they told us for every 50 feet, or sorry, not for every 50 feet, for every 3 miles that Alan drives, he goes up by 50 feet. So every 1 mile he is driving, he is gonna go up by 50 divided by 3 feet. So if he's driving x miles, we don't know what's the value of x, he's then driving 50 over 3x feet. Now, this is what? This is how much he is going to reach to his friend's house. Okay, they did not tell us where his friend's house is, they told us it's x miles from his home, okay? And for every 3 miles he drives, he goes up by 50 feet. So we got 50 over 3 times x. However, they are asking us, what is Alan's altitude in feet relative to sea level after driving x miles? Relative to sea level, we already know that he is at an original position, or at a constant position. This is gonna be our constant value of 500 feet above sea level. So we are gonna add our constant, which is 500 feet, plus how many feet he rises after driving x miles, which is 50 divided by 3x. So this is our function, so it's going to be 500 plus 50 divided by 3. Moving on to question number 4. We have the given function is graphed in the xy plane. Find the axes, intercepts, and the slope of its graphs. We know always if fx is singular, that means it's 1fx, or in other terms, 1 next to y, then the slope is the number next to x. In this case, the number next to x is minus 2, so the slope is minus 2. The x-intercept means that y is equal to 0. whereas the y-intercept means that the x is equal to 0. So let us find the x-intercept. If we put 0 instead of fx, which is y, so 0 is going to be equal to minus 2x plus 3. Move this one to the other side, you are going to get 2x is equal to 3, divide both sides by 2, x is equal to 1.5. So we have the x-intercept, which is 1.5. To find the y-intercept, we have to put x equals to 0, so fx is equal to minus 2 times 0 plus 3, so it is equal to 3. So the y-intercept is then 3. So our answers are minus 2, 1.5, 0, 0, and 3. Moving on to question number 5, we need to write an equation in standard form to represent the function. Okay, very simply, we know that any straight line has an equation of y is equal to mx plus b. You can say mx plus b or ax plus b. Whichever suits you, it's fine to use, it's just only a different letter. So, to find the slope, which is a or m, so I'm going to use this one. To find the slope, which is a, we are going to choose 2 points. So we're going to choose this one and this one. And then we are going to take them. So it's going to be what? It is going to be, here it's 0, 5, and here it is 4, 0. So we are going to apply the slope rule, which is y minus y over x minus x. So 5 minus 0 over 0 minus 4, and we will get an answer of 5 over minus 4. Or, not necessarily 5 over minus 4, actually minus 5 over 4. Either way, it's the same, but I like to represent it like this because it's going to become easier. Okay, so we put it in the equation. Y is equal to minus 5 over 4x plus b. Now, let us multiply everything by 4 because we need to get rid of a fraction. Personally, I don't like to see a fraction as the slope. So to get rid of the fraction, we have to multiply everything by 4. And so we get 4y is equal to minus 5x plus 4b. Okay, so now we're going to move minus 5x to the other side, and we are going to get 5x plus 4y is equal to 4b. Now we need to find the value of 4b. To find the value of 4b, we can take any of the points we chose. For example, we will take 0, 5, and we substitute. So it becomes 5 times 0 plus 4 times 5 is equal to 4b. So then 4b is equal to what? Is equal to 20. But we are going to keep it as 20 because this is how we need the equation. We need the equation as 5x plus 4y is equal to 20. And so this is how we got our final answer. So if you scroll down, 5x plus 4y is equal to 20. Moving on to question number 6. Okay, a linear function f is defined such that fx decreases by 8 units, so minus 8 units for every 4 units increase, so over plus 4 in x times x. So decreases by 8 units minus 8 divided by 4 units divided by plus 4, because 4 units increase in x, so times x. That means we are going to get minus 2x. They told us that it has a y-intercept of 200. That means 200 is our constant, so 200 minus 2x is our value. Moving on to question number 7. Okay, this is a very nice question. Personally, I like these PISA questions because they make us think, and it's, in my opinion, really one of the really nice questions. So they told us the wheel has an external diameter of 76 meters and its highest point is 81 meters above the riverbed. Okay? So the wheel has an external diameter of 76 meters. That means the wheel itself has an external diameter from the outside of 76 meters. That means this over here is 76 meters. And they told us that the highest point is 81 meters above the riverbed. So if this over here is 76 meters, okay, and they told us that the highest point is 81 meters above the riverbed, then that means there is a gap of 5 meters. Alright? Now, they asked us, or they told us the wheel rotates in the direction shown by the arrow, so it will rotate in this direction, which is counterclockwise. Okay? So, the letter C in the diagram indicates the center of the wheel. They told us how many meters above the riverbed is point C. Very simply, this is a tricky question at first, but once you know how to solve it, it will not be tricky at all. So, this is what 76 meters. Okay? They want to know how far is the point C from the riverbed. So, do we do 81 divided by 2? Definitely not, because it's not. The whole diameter of the wheel is not 81, so we cannot say that it is 81 divided by 2. So instead, we are going to separate them into two things. We are going to separate them into the wheel and into the gap between the wheel and the river bed. So they want to see how far is the point C from the river bed. So we're going to take the 76 centimeters and divide it by 2. Okay, and we are going to get what? We are going to get 76 divided by 2, which is 38 meters. So the distance from C to the point P is actually 38 meters. But they need what? They need the distance of C to the point of the river bed. So it's going to be 38 meters in addition to the 5-meter gap. So 38 plus 5, which will give us an answer of 43. So the answer over here is 43. Now the wheel rotates at a constant speed, completing one full rotation in 20 minutes. So let us play some game over here. We are going to split this into 4 sectors. And they said all of this round is completed in 20 minutes. So 20 minutes divided by the 4 sectors. That means it takes 5 minutes for each sector to be completed. So 5, 5, 5, and 5. Okay, Emily watches the wheel starting from the lowest point, marked as P. Where will Emily's observation point be after 15 minutes? So Emily is observing this point over here, P. They asked us, after 15 minutes, where will her point of observation be? We know every 5 minutes, it will do one quarter of the wheel will be finished. So 5 minutes, then 5 minutes, this is 10 minutes, then finally another 5 minutes. So this is 15 minutes in total, and we reached the point T. So after 15 minutes, her point of focus is gonna be at the point T. So we move on to question number 8. This is a very common question. We've seen it in the last 2 AMSs. So from 65 to 57, there is a difference of 8. They subtracted 8. Now, from 8 plus 15, how did the 15 become a 45? Very simply, by multiplying by 3. So, very simply, to reach the value of k, we are going to have to multiply this by 3. So it will become minus 24. So we are going to take the original one, which is 65, and we are going to do 65 minus 24. If we do it on the calculator, it will give us a value of 41. So the value of k is then 41. Moving on to question number 9. Okay, this is a really nice question. This has come last year and the year before, and it's very simple. First thing you need to do is you need to factorize everything. Make everything as simple as possible. So 3x minus 9, okay, over this, you need to factorize it by doing the product sum method. I will leave it for you to factorize. I will just give you the answer. So x plus 5, x minus 2. Also, if you factorize a lot, it's going to become way easier to do it mentally. For this one, it is going to be x minus 3, x plus 5. And for this one over here, it's going to be x minus 3 and x minus 2. So now the next step we are going to do is that we are going to cancel the common, because this is multiplication. So we're not going to cancel the common. If you have on top a number and on the bottom a number, then you need to cancel it. So you could also factorize this. In my opinion, it would be better to factorize it. So it will be 3x minus 3. And then if you need to cancel it, then you can cancel it. So for example, if we take 3x minus 3 and 3x minus 3 and we cancel it, then we take x plus 5 and x plus 5 and we cancel it, then we are going to be left with 3x minus 3 over x minus 2 times x minus 2. So in very simplest form, it's going to be 3x minus 9 over x minus 2 squared. So we're going to be looking for this 3x minus 9 over x minus 2 squared. So we move on to question number 10. They told us one of the roots of this is 2 over 5. The other root is, in my opinion, let us practice the discriminant rule. So very simply, discriminant is equal to what? Is equal to b squared minus 4ac. In my opinion, let us use the discriminant rule because it's for practice, even though this is a hard number. But it's all for the sake of practicing. So we can use our calculator in this exam, whereas in the periodic we're not allowed to. So our b is 58. It's gonna become 58 squared minus 4 times 5 times minus 24. So if you put it on your calculator, 58 squared minus 4 times 5 times minus 24, you are gonna get an answer of 3,844. Now this is a big number. I know it's big, but it's for the sake of the practice. We know that the discriminant has 2 roots. It's equal to b, so minus b plus radical discriminant over 2a, or minus b minus radical discriminant over 2a. So our b is 58 in this case, so it's gonna be minus 58 plus radical 3844 divided by 2 times a, which is 5. So if you put it on your calculator, minus 58 plus radical 3844 divided by 2 times 5, you are gonna get 2 over 5. So this is the first root. Now let us find the other root. To find the other root, we will apply this. So it's gonna be minus 58 minus radical 3844 over 2 times 5. So if we do minus 58 minus radical 3844 divided by 2 times 5, we are then gonna get an answer of minus 12. So the other root is then minus 12. Of course, if you don't want to go through the hard way of doing this or the discriminant rule, I only did this for practice, you can go on your calculator, you can open mode setup, you can click on 5 equation, okay? You will click on then 3, and you are gonna get A, B, and C. In A, in this case, you are gonna put 5. In B, you are gonna put 58. And in C, you are gonna put minus 24. So if you put it, you are gonna get that x1, which is the first root, is 2 over 5, and x2, which is the second root, is minus 12. You can either do it this way or the discriminant way. However you feel that is good for you, you can do it. Okay, so now we move on to question number 11. Given delta ABC with BC is equal to 6, AC is equal to 11, and MC is equal to 60, we need to find the value of AB squared. So in my opinion, I think we should draw the triangle because it's gonna be better for everyone. So we're gonna have ABC, okay? So AB squared, we need to find it. We are gonna say this is x. We are given AC, which is 11, and BC, which is 6, and the angle C in between them, which is 60 degrees. When we have two sides and an angle in between them, we have to apply the cosine rule. The cosine rule is what? It is that the side that we are looking for, which is AB squared, is equal to AC squared plus BC squared minus 2 times AC times BC times cosine the angle in between them. So in this case, it's going to become 11 squared plus 6 squared minus 2 times 11 times 6 times cosine of 60. So if you do it on the calculator, 11 squared plus 6 squared minus 2 times 11 times 6 times cosine of 60, you are going to get that AB squared is equal to 91. Now they need the value of AB squared, so we are not going to put a radical. And we are not going to find the value of AB, so AB squared is then 91. Moving on to question number 12. Okay, let us draw the triangle. We have triangle RST. We are given that ST is what? 10 radical 3. Angle R is 30 degrees and measure angle T is 60 degrees. They need us to find the value of RS. Here we apply the sine rule. The sine rule states that the sine of an angle divided by its opposite is equal to the sine of another angle divided by its opposite. So in this case, it's going to be sine 30 divided by 10 radical 3 is equal to, so it is equal to sine 60 over the side RS. So doing the cross multiplication, we get that RS is equal to sine 60, this is 60, times 10 radical 3 over sine 30. And if you do it on your calculator, you are gonna get an answer of 30. Now another way you could do this is that you can draw the triangle again, triangle RST. I believe ST is like this. We are given that angle R is 30 degrees and angle T is 60 degrees, and this over here is a right triangle. So it's a 30, 60, 90 triangle, and we know that with a 30, 60, 90 triangle, that this side, the hypotenuse, is gonna be 2x, and the small side, which is the side made with angles 90 and 60, is gonna be x, and the side made with 30 degrees and 90 degrees is gonna be x radical 3. Okay, so in this case we have the side over here which is between 60 and 90 degrees, which is st, which is 10 radical 3. So now to find the value of rs, very simply we're gonna put x, which is 10 radical 3 multiplied by radical 3. You can do it on your calculator, you can do it mentally. It becomes 10 times 3, which is then equal to 30. Moving on to question number 13. Okay, I like this question. It's a very nice question. They told us below is the graph of a function. fx is drawn in blue and gx is drawn in red. They told us that they need fx to be greater than or equal to gx, but we need to know at which point. So very easily we will find their point of intersection, which is this point over here, which is at 3. And if you notice, after this, fx, which is in blue, becomes greater than gx, which is in red. So at some point they are equal, and then fx becomes greater than gx. And this is exactly what we are looking for. So at point 3, which is their intersection point, this is the answer. Now this over here, you're just gonna take this and this, or if you want, we can take everything and make it equal to 0. So 14 equal to 0. 3x minus 21 equals to 0. 2x plus 16 is equal to 0. Definitely we don't take this, it doesn't make sense. So 3x is equal to 21, x is equal to 7. And then 2x plus 16 is equal to 0. So 2x is equal to minus 16. So x is equal to minus 8. So the solutions or roots are going to be 7 or minus 8. Moving on to question number 15. Here we need to find the solution, so you can either apply the product sum, okay? If you want, in this case, I think we can divide everything by 2. So if you divide everything by 2, you're gonna get x squared plus 6x minus 27. And then applying the product sum rule, you are gonna get an answer of 9 and minus 3. So that means x plus 9 and x minus 3. Okay? You make this equals to 0, make this equals to 0. So x is equal to minus 9 and x is equal to 3. So the roots are going to be 3 and minus 9. Now, if you want to double check your answers, you're going to put mod 5, 3. Okay? So mod setup, then 5, then 3. For A, you are going to put 2. For B, you are going to put 12. And for C, you're going to put minus 54. You're going to get roots x1 is equal to 3 and x2 is equal to 9. If you want to go back, you press on mode setup 1. I forgot to mention that before. So now we move on to question number 16. Here again, you can either do product sum, product of minus 90, sum of minus 1. So minus 10 times 9, minus 10 plus 9. So x minus 10, x plus 9, x is equal to 10, and x is equal to minus 9. They need the positive root, so it is 10. However, if you want to do it faster, you can do mod setup 5, then 3. You can put 1, minus 1, and 90, and you are going to get... you're going to put 1, minus 1, and minus 90, not 90. So you're going to get that x1 is 10, and x2 is 9. So we move on to question number 17. They need the only root of this. So 9x squared plus 1 is equal to 1. Move this to the other side. 9x squared is equal to 0. Divide both sides by 9. So x squared is equal to 0. So that means that the only solution is going to be 0. Moving on to question number 18. This is a nice question. So 2x squared plus 9 is equal to 1. Move it to the other side. 2x squared is equal to minus 8. Divide both sides by 2. X squared is equal to minus 4. Can there be a real root of a negative number? Can you find the radical of a negative number? You cannot. So definitely there is no real roots, hence we are going to put 999 as our answer. Moving on to question number 19. Okay, this is a nice question. Whenever they're asking for the gradient, we need to find derivative directly. So find the derivative of this. It's gonna become 12x to the power of 3 plus 4x minus 4. So if we substitute with minus 1, it's gonna be 12 minus 1 to the power of 3 plus 4 minus 1, okay, minus 4, and we will get an answer of minus 20. So this is our gradient, which is minus 20. Moving on to question number 20. Okay, I like this question. Why? Even though it's a bit difficult, I'm gonna explain it, and I'm gonna explain how to find the if it's maximum, minimum, or saddle point. Okay, so first of all, we are given this equation. We need to find the stationary points. Very simply, to find the stationary points, we take the derivative. Taking the derivative, we are gonna get 3x to the power of 2 plus 6x, okay, is equal to 0. Then you take out common x, so you are gonna have x times 3x plus 6 is equal to 0. So you have either x is equal to 0 or x is equal to minus 2. So you have x is 0 or x is minus 2. Now, to find the value of y, we are going to substitute our x in the original equation. So in the first one, if you substitute 0, you're going to have 0 to the power of 3 plus 3 times 0 squared plus 120. You will get an answer of 102. However, if you substitute the second one, you are going to have minus 2 to the power of 3 plus 3 times minus 2 to the power of 2 plus 102. And we are gonna get an answer of 106. So over here it is gonna be 106. So the answers are 102, -2, and 106. Now, how do we find the minimum and maximum points? We have to write something called the table of variation. I think I drew it wrong, so 1 second. So this over here is gonna be our table of variation. So we are gonna take our 2 points, which we got to be 0 and -2. So to find out which one is gonna be a maximum and which one is gonna be a minimum, we need to take a number less than -2. And we're not gonna substitute it in this, we will substitute it in the derivative. So again, let us take the derivative. It was 3x to the power of 2 plus 6x, and we are gonna make it based on 0. If it's greater than 0, less than 0, or equal to 0. Now it will only be equal to 0 at these 2 points, which are the stationary points, which is -2 and 0. So if you substitute them in the derivative, you are gonna get an answer of 0. So to find which one is maximum, which one is minimum, we're gonna substitute a number less than -2. So let's say -3, for example. So it's gonna be 3 times -3 to the power of 2 times, plus 6 times -3. And we are gonna get an answer of 9. And we know that 9 is greater than 0. So if it's greater than 0, it's gonna be increasing or positive, okay? Now we are gonna choose a number between -2 and 0. So, for example, let us choose -1. If we were to put -1, we are going to have 3 times -1 squared plus 6 times -1, and we will get -3. So it is decreasing or minus. Now, look at this over here. It's creating something called the maximum. So over here, we have a maximum. Okay? Now, if you choose a number after 0, for example 1, and you substitute it, you are going to get an answer of 9, which is positive. So at this point over here, it is creating a minimum. So this is how you find the table of variation. Again, you take your 2 stationary points, you put them, okay? You choose a number less than, in between, and after, which is greater than, and you substitute them in the derivative. And this is how you find the nature of the stationary points. Now they need to find the gradient. Very simply, to find the gradient, we just need to find the derivative. So it's gonna be 6x to the power of 5 over 3 minus 24x to the power of 7 over 4. So 2x to the power of 5 minus 6x to the power of 7. Substitute -1. It's gonna then become -2 plus 6, which is 4. So the gradient is 4. Now finally, the last question, which is question number 22. Now for this question over here, they need the equation of the tangent to the curve C at x is equal to 2. So very simply, we'll find the derivative. So it's going to be 3x2 plus 8x. Okay, this is the derivative. Now, to find the slope or the number next to x, we will substitute 2 here. It becomes 3 times 4 plus 8 times 2. So 12 plus 16, which is then 28. So now we have the slope. The next thing we are going to do is we are going to substitute 2 in this to get the value of y. So it becomes y is equal to 8 plus 4 times 4 plus 10. So that is 24 plus 10, which is 34. So now we have 34 is equal to 28x minus this, which is b. Now we know that x is 2, so we will substitute it over here. So 34 is equal to 28 times 2 minus b. So 34 is equal to 56 minus b. Bring it to the other side. Minus b is equal to minus 56 plus 34. So minus 22. So then b is equal to 22. So this is 28 and this over here is 22. So let us submit and hopefully there are no mistakes. And thank God there are no mistakes. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed and have a wonderful day.